that is implanted in your psyche is what? God. Something relative to God while you are still in your mother's womb. Whatever your mother's attitude or the community around you attitude or concept or imagery is of the God force in the universe is injected into you while you are still in the development stages of your mother's womb. As your mind begins to formulate, as the melanin begins to grow and develop within you, and that divine intelligence that comes from the center of the universe that makes us so special as a people, there is automatically inherent within that a concept about a God force or divine force in the universe. We're born with it. We have it even before we're born. It's very natural to African people to think in those terms. They feel a connectedness with the universe that is beyond and above that which they can understand in their human experience. Therefore, the quest of most African people throughout our history has always been to travel a path that will bring us in closer connection with that divine intelligence in the universe. We have expressed it in a multiplicity of ways, and we still do. But we don't deal with the road, we deal with the objective of where we're going. Now, we're born with this. We have this before we get here. And therefore begins our participation in the practice of a recognition of a God force in the universe. It's just not natural for most black people. I'm not telling you what to believe or what not to believe in a divine intelligence. In the universe, we're just that way by nature. But I'm not saying you're bad if you don't. I'm just saying that's natural for most African people. That's just that this participation in practice becomes a part then of the child and ultimately the adult concept of themselves. In other words, your concept of yourself is directly related to your concept of God. Say that again. Every human being concept, and I'm talking about particularly our people, African people, is directly related to their understanding and concept of God. Because they seek to live that out in their lives. Therefore,
good day, family.
In all of your thoughts,
I was really listening to Barry Shango. Y'all, it's live. 13 hours of Jesus Explained marathon. And it's on YouTube.
Also, your relationship as to how you will treat yourself and how you will treat the group that you come from.
We ain't gonna read that long. But it's 13 hours. I'm at least I'm gonna be missing some of this. I really wish I knew if I could play this, while we on and stuff, because this is good information here. We need to know these things. Yeah, we definitely need to know these things, but I don't know. It's good to see you all. It's so good to see y'all. Yeah, then I just finally said, I will be watching this. And I just want to come on and we're going to finish our book. And then, of course, I can always go back and look at it from the beginning to see what I had missed and stuff. But I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I made something happen. I got a rocking chair. Yeah, I ain't got a living room set yet, but I got a rocking chair. Yep, I said, that's all right. We'll rock and read. We will rock and read. Because I know it was one book had mentioned black people, we rock because of the trauma. We rock because of the trauma. Those books that I had to turn in, Racial Violence in Kentucky, 1865 to 1940, that wasn't our book. And Racial Violence in the United States and Lynchings in Duluth. Those weren't our books. So I can't go back and look in those. And then, I didn't mark it in them because they weren't ours. But I know because I read and I was like, wow, no wonder we rock. Because where I'm from, everybody rock. Honey, we rock them babies till they big and grown. 4, 5 years old, we still be rocking on the couch. We'll rock some springs out. Rock them springs out of that couch. Everybody be rocking together. And when I read it in the book, it resonated with me. I don't know if y'all rock or not, but where I'm from, we rock. So when I saw this rocking chair, I was like, yep, I'm going to get that rocking chair right there. And yeah, I set that little CD over on the side and stuff. Yeah, we can rock and read now. Yeah, but it's so good to see y'all and stuff. So it's a small milestone. But yeah, it's good. Yeah. Hey there, how you doing, my brother? Yes, knowledge is power. It sure is. And we need it today. Black people need it today. After everything we done went through, our ancestors done went through, we not all right. We ain't all right because we don't know nothing. We don't know what we should know. Everybody else seems to know, but black people don't know. Sure don't. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I hope that's why you here. Everybody, if you're here, because I don't want nobody to waste their time. And I'm glad you're here. Let me maximize this because I don't like to even be focused on the numbers and stuff. My ancestors told me long as 2 people here. I see 2 people there and me. Because for like 4 months, I thought they were talking about me and you. But then they were like, nah, face, 2 people, them. And then me, because I'm the one that's reading and stuff. So I guess I don't count on that end. So, 2 people here. So let's cover it up. Because I just need to get going. It's like riding a bicycle. You got to paddle it, but you got to push first. I don't know now if you're going to be standing on the side of the curb or you're going to push it on tiptoes or what. But you got to get that first push off. And so, I'm just grateful to my ancestors for, allowing that. Because, waiting for 5-10 minutes, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it and wait for people to get in and build up and stuff. I'm not there yet. This is a new thing. This is definitely new. So, I appreciate my ancestors, being easy with me with this and stuff. And I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate your presence and your patience. And anytime you got to go, that is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine because I ain't holding nobody here. No, I'm not for everybody. This is not for everybody. And everybody is not for my ancestors. So, it won't be no qualms about it and stuff. It won't. No, the ancestors already done told me, face, it's only going to be a certain few that want to hear this, that resonate with them, that want to see them get the recognition and the remembrance that they need. So, as long as I got started and stuff, that's good and stuff, So, yeah, we know I am Face the Nation. We on Bolden Unchained. And I am here. And like I said, I hope that's why you're here too. But if it's not, don't let this irritate you. If it don't resonate and it irritate you, then feel free to go. Because, we ain't got time for all that low energy, and it's not vibing and stuff, and we sticking in spaces where we don't want to be and we not feeling it and stuff. Them days and times is over with and stuff. Anything that's not resonating with us, we got to let it go. We got to let it go until it come back around if it's meant to be. So, I just want us to know that and stuff because them days of being, petty about this and that, them days is over. We're in a whole new era now. We are in a whole new era now, and everybody know it but Black America. Yep. So, we here to assist Black America, Black media, and Black media. I am. That's why I'm here. I'm here to assist Black America first and finally. Yeah, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I don't kick a puppy or kick nobody when they down because my mama didn't teach me to be like that. I don't want nothing that somebody else got because she told me I could get my own. So, when I fucked up and stuff, I can deal with it. I can accept it that, yeah, I fucked up. Left her when I was 16, dropped out of high school, made my mistakes. I made my beds, but I laid in them, But I knew that my mom said, you can do it too. Somebody else doing it, you can do it too. So, I'm grateful to her for that because I don't look at nobody else on them petty, superficial ways that we got about ourselves that's been ingrained in us as a people. And it's our fault and it ain't our fault. The root of it ain't our fault. But letting it fester among our people and let it take a hold of us and stuff, that is our fault. We should have been put a stop to this a long time ago. So, yeah, I'm here to condemn. Yep, I'm here to condemn the many agendas, events, projects, laws, acts, codes, courses, studies, experiments, documents, memorandums, It's so many. I just learned about all of this. I had no idea. I thought Black America was okay. I thought, yeah, quite a few of us done fucked up and went the wrong way, didn't do the things that we knew we were supposed to do, like graduate high school. At least get to that maturity before you fly off the handle trying to be part of the world and stuff. So, and I was like, but yeah, we made some mistakes and stuff, but on the whole, those that reached them financial pinnacles, that political pinnacle, the educational pinnacle, I thought they were sincerely doing right and watching things. But now them motherfuckers done let everything slip and slide. It's like we coming off the plantation again. To me, I'm just saying to me. We ain't got nothing. We going into a new era. We ain't got nothing. So it's like, yeah, the past is trying to happen again. If it don't seem like it to y'all, it is. History do repeat itself. So, yeah, that's why I'm here, to help my people, Black America, to let us know. To let us know, because it seems like everybody is willing to sacrifice us on the fact that we don't know these things. What's happened, what's liable to happen again. If your black ass don't wake up and watch out, everything ain't just kosher with us and our people out there. We might be all right individually, but collectively, honey, look out there. Honey, it's done started already. You don't know when the tide gonna turn. But all I got to say is, keep your eyes on the prize, because everybody else is Black America. We looking through a spiritual lens here. I am. If you religious and you want to forgive white American stuff and everything that's done happened, you in the wrong space right here tonight. Because ain't no forgiveness here. No, ain't no forgiveness for nothing. And nobody that's done did these things right here to my ancestors. It ain't. And you ain't got to feel bad about it. All you got to do is go on over there to Sister Channel. Sister forgiving everybody every day. That's what Sister doing. But right here, I don't forgive nobody. I took all that back. I forgive my ancestors. I forgive my ancestors for them. They were sincere. They put their all in it. They trusted. They trusted these people. They didn't know that these people gonna turn and just slaughter on them like a pack of clanimals that they were. I give all my acceptance, my embracing. I give everything to my ancestors now. I don't give nothing to white folks. White folks don't deserve my forgiveness. No, they do not. Even their descendants today don't deserve my forgiveness for what they ancestors have done, for what they ain't even made atonement for, ain't gave no recognition for it, no reparations, nothing. They ain't repented or repaid Black America for nothing. And here we are still in the mix, forgiving, waiting on Jesus to come and save us because we need to be saved. We can't do it. We can't save ourselves. We so angry at ourselves and untrusting of us, the self-hate, the dedicated ignorance. That's what Dr. Ray Hagen's coined, dedicated ignorance. It's so palpable. I think that's the word. Is that you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm learning new words too. Yeah, and it's so profound within us and stuff. We can't operate outside of it, but we gonna have to. We need to learn a few things. I know Jesus been there for you since you were 3 weeks old. You got your Bible. And that's fine. I'm not even here to say no more. Maybe in the beginning, I kind of felt like, put that Bible down. But I ain't even with that no more because we out of time. We ain't got time for it right now. That's why I ain't reading in slavery, because we ain't got time for that. I'm not reading before slavery. We don't have time. I'm pretty much the last one here. Those that's like me, coming with me now to do this right here and stuff, we about the last of the bushel. Yep, after that right there, what's gonna be, gonna be. I don't know whether it's finna be war of the machines or war of the missiles. I don't know. But we just better get together, start talking, start creating, even if it's something that seems like it's minuscule, like them buses that I seen on that video. And sister, brother over there on fire. on 13 hours of Jesus Explained marathon. Yeah, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this and stuff. But they they dug a deep hole in the backyard and put a whole bus under there. That might have to be our bunkers. But we got to start thinking on that level, because we need some type of shelter for our people, our masses. You know, yeah, it's just like we ain't been paying attention to nothing. You know, I know I haven't either. But now that I have, that yeah, since Trayvon Martin was murdered, honey, yeah, I went through my journey with that too. I did, but then in all of that right there, we supposed to be patrolling our own communities at this point in time. Do you realize that the Black Panthers Party intended, it was their intention, them love letters, them documents they left us, that model for self-defense was for us, so that we could be out here patrolling and protecting and providing our own communities what we needed. We still ain't doing it all this time. I didn't know. I had no idea, but now that I do, Black America, you got to do for yourself. Stop. You don't need nobody else telling you what to do, how to do it and stuff here. You're up against a war of the machines. You're finna be surrounded by machine. I don't know what to call a futuristic world. It ain't for you. It ain't of you. You of the cosmos. You are of the ethers. This machine futuristic world don't even mix with you. That's like oil and water to me. But you know, people done let it happen. People done fucking truly let it happen. So, you know, yeah, we're going to have to work with that and stuff. And along the way and stuff, we got to start learning what we need to start learning and stuff about our history. You got to change everything about your life. You got to change your diet, what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're looking at, what's looking at you, what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're talking about. We're going to have, how we breathing. Yeah, now that right there, I get on here and yeah, I just get to breathing like I'm breathing regularly and stuff. But it's a process that we got to change our whole lifescape, because we've been doing it wrong. We've been doing it under an indoctrination, under the brainwash of what? The illusion of inclusion. Yeah, ain't nobody told us like we need to know, and we ain't read between the lines of the Bible, because if we had it, we wouldn't be in this situation. We gave up everything. We forfeited everything, sacrificed everything, put everything on the line to integrate with white folks, and they done us no good. I'm here to just, why my people can't get along. You ain't got to keep asking that, because I want to know too. And that's why I'm here, to see why we can't get along. Why is it only a funeral that we get together and stuff? If it is a barbecue and a get together, it ain't too long, because after everybody done got full and done caught up with, you know, what's happening and stuff like that, we got to go our separate ways and stuff, because it's going to go left. And that's because we can't create. We can't create with us like we just do on instinct. It's born and it's bred in us to not create nothing, because after Tulsa, after all them massacres, oh yeah, we knew then. Yeah, that shit is over. We ain't creating nothing else. Not on the magnitude that Tulsa and Greenwood were. Not on the level of our enterprises, our Black Wall Streets, we ain't created. No, we just let white folk just handle everything. You do it then. You just drive. You drive. I just run beside the car. I'm some bullshit like that. And now look, it's fucked up out here. Everybody in danger. Everybody is in motherfucking danger. Mankind and humanity. But we got to save us. We got to save us. So, you know, we look at through a spiritual lens, because I done told you I'm not religious. I thought I was, but I ain't. I know for sure. Absolutely. I'm not religious. You know, I tried to be. Just didn't work out. Didn't resonate with me and stuff, you know. And my mama believed, and everybody did. So I did too. But, you know, once I started doing the knowledge and realizing what's going on with my people and stuff and learning, yeah, I come to realize I'm not religious. I recently just took back my forgiveness from white America, but I knew before then that I wasn't religious. Yeah, I just didn't really understand that I ain't got to forgive if I don't want to. But I was listening to Dr. Francis Cress Wells, and I heard the perfect video, the right video. And that's what she had said. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to forgive your oppressors. No, you don't. We so brainwashed to forgive white America for what they've done. We do it before they even ask. Yep, do it before they even ask for forgiveness. Yep, do it if they don't show no sincerity, no remorse, don't make no atonements and stuff for what they've done to our ancestors. We still forgive them and stuff because we think that's the right thing to do to get to heaven. Honey, Black America, you better not take your ass to heaven with white folks because they up there doing the same thing down here that they doing to you. Sure wills, honey. And John Brown, he up there with them. Yeah, him and his sons cussing their ass out, telling white folks, let them go. Why you got them in heaven doing this to them too? You know, yeah. But it took one of us. It took us, all of us. That's been, you better move, get on. It took all of us to free the ancestors from heaven. They weren't supposed to be in heaven. They supposed to be in the afterlife. Y'all, the Bible was telling you right here. Your Bible, I bought this. I got you a regular size one somewhere. I'll find it when I get unpacked and stuff. But the Bible was telling you, Black America. I ain't never read it. So I really can't say, but I done heard some things about the Bible. I did read the book of Ruth now. I did read that. But the Bible was telling y'all, come out from under white people. It's been letting you know and stuff. Them contradictions in the Bible been letting you know, Black America, you ain't paying no attention to them. Make me think you done memorized the whole Bible that's approved. The part that you supposed to be paying attention to, you ain't even paid no mind to that. You haven't. You haven't paid no mind to that, Black America. It's just quite appalling. I just want to say, don't be a fool and a dummy. Don't sleep through the apocalypse. You got to do for yourself. At least let's make sure Black people survive this. Everybody gonna make sure they survive this. Whatever this is finna be. It's a new world order. It's unprecedented. These things have never happened before. So, I don't know where we gonna go, but I hope we go safely and together. Everybody that's got some land, shit, dig the backyard up. Shit, we'll use the front for the gardens and the back for the buses. I'm just saying, and because a lot of us going to be able to go out of the country and stuff. And most of us ain't going to be able to. Some of us ain't even going to want to. Then we're going to have some of us that's going to be like, no, I'm going to stay here. I ain't leaving. I'm staying here. Whatever going to be. I ain't going nowhere, face. And so, we just want to make sure we okay when we do. And after all this shit is over, we want to make sure Black people are still living. Black people are still in existence. So, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than you. This whole setup here on this planet, especially this country. This is where I'm at in the United States. United States and Black America and Black Africa are one and the same. But where I'm at in my awakening, my journey, wanting to be part of the solution for my people and stuff is what's wrong with Black America? What's wrong with my people right here? But I guarantee you, sure as my ancestors gave me Red Summer as the first book to read, they're going to give me the first book to read for Africa too. It might be Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. I ain't got it no more. But, this is what they gave me the first book to start with, reading right here, because I want to know what's wrong with us. We got to heal us, y'all. The whole world needs us to heal us. Needs us to heal us so they can heal themselves. Seems to me like white folks is the motherfucking bully of the whole damn planet. I'm like, damn, how could that be? But I ain't no cosmopolitan. I haven't traveled and stuff like that. But it just seemed to me like they reach very far and wide. And I think I said enough, about me. So, a little bit about me and stuff. And let's get the copyright disclaimer out the way because I have to do that. I just don't want to be all night. We're going to read a little bit. And then I'm finna get back to 13 Hours of Jesus Explained, because I do want to know. I don't believe in a white Jesus. I don't. And if Jesus coming back, he black, his name Simeon Toko, and he gonna kick all y'all asses when he do get back, because you done sit here and let white folks just turn his whole image into Cesario Borgia. Yeah, he ain't gonna want to hear that when you be like, but we know the Bible, Jesus is black, and the Bible say his hair is kinky and his feet is bronze. But yeah, that's what you know. That ain't what you let be. You let white folks' image be what's portrayed. That's what's ingrained in Black America's eyes. I wonder out of a significant amount of black people, we close our eyes and I say Jesus. How many gonna see Cesario Borgia? And how many gonna see a black Jesus? But I digress. All I know is whoever you see come back, whether it's black Jesus, white Jesus, Malcolm X, Khalid, Muhammad, I don't care if it's a Pleiadian, a Martian, the little grays. You better ask them some questions, Black America. You better ask them, is y'all here to take y'all here finally for us? Yeah, you looking for them? Don't you sit there and faint, be motherfucking scared and shit. Hell, if they was here to hurt you, it would have been no happened this stuff. So, I just want to put that out there. It might be a hologram anyway. I don't know. Just don't faint. Whatever you see and stuff. Ask it some questions. We here for a reason. It finally showed itself for a reason. Everything being exposed. I don't know. Shit, you don't know either. Just be ready. But the copyright disclaimer under 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing non-profit, educational, or personal use. Tips the balance in favor of fair use. So yeah, everybody, you can read. Get your channel started. Read. Get your channel started. If you can't read too well, that's fine. Let Shay Shay read. And you get her books and stuff together, her notes and stuff, and make sure everything is working right. And yeah, let's everybody read. We got to keep our history alive. Yeah, they trying to erase everything about our history. We got to tell our stories now. Yeah, sure do, honey. Because when this is over and said and done, we're going to be starting over again. But like I said, let's make sure we still here. Let's make sure we still in existence, Black America. Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up yet, honey. Our cavalry is on its way. Yeah. If it ain't already here, because I feel it. I know you feel it. It's a new awakening. We're in a new awakening. Yep, you got to. If you don't, then your vibes is off, your frequencies is off. You're gonna have to tune in to Black America. What's going on with us as a people? Because individually, we okay. Individually, we okay. It just so happens I know now we ain't never been okay. Sure ain't. Even if you ain't worried about the light bill and the birthday that's coming up, and you need this and you need that, you need a new motor in the car, damn transmission blew, or whatever the case may be. A lot of us ain't worried about some of them things and stuff, but collectively, oh yeah, we got to be wary. Don't worry, be wary. I don't want us to worry, because all we got to do is, detox. Get on a higher frequency. Watch what you're eating and what you're ingesting and stuff. It's hard. I'm trying to get rid of cigarettes and meat at the same time. Still trying to get off of that bird, But we got to do it and stuff. That way we'll be able to connect. We'll be able to connect the dots, and we'll be able to receive these downloads and these uploads that we need to have when the shit hit the fan. Yeah, when the shit hit the fan and stuff. Because, see, this is out of our control now. It's out of our control now. I don't know if it's because we're too traumatized to stand up and defend ourselves and our ancestors. And they pissed about it too. But they understand we're too traumatized. And then not to mention that, the people that be have tampered with Mother Nature so much. And even to the point of tampering out there in outer space. honey, trying to see what's way, way, way out there, and it can't be seen. What's way, way, way. It's just kind of like our beginning cannot be pinpointed. You see, but it's a culmination. And then the animals have been tortured, slaughtered. Some of them extinct. Some of them are extinct. You know, if other peoples did them and stuff, you know, then I'm sure it'll come to the light and stuff. But as far as I know, white America done did all of this. And so all of this right here has, it has wakened is wakened up cosmic energy and Mother Nature. The frequency has wakened up because of all of this trauma and turmoil and destruction. Mother Earth, the earth is literally, her waters are polluted. The soil, Mother Earth herself, is literally so cut up and mutilated like a black man's body. You know, the trees cut down and stuff, just by the hundreds of, you know, I don't even know, all them fields and for especially in Africa, you know, I know that one movie I like to watch. What was it called? The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. And honey, and even in that movie, they went through and cut down all of them trees. There were like thousands of trees. But you know, it's happening in real life. I think that movie was true. Yep, it sure was. Yep, his name was William. But I digress. But I'm just saying, you know, Mother Earth, the planet, is sick and tired too. The cosmos is sick and tired. Changing the weather. Now, how you gonna manipulate the weather? See, that's doing too much, you know, against the nature of things. See, you're right. The Bible was right and stuff. We just a small fragment of this entire existence here. But we are very important to this because we are the parent of all people. See, and because we are the manifestation of the ethers, because the ethers manifested the black man and the black woman. It's true. The ethers wanted to experience life as a human in the flesh. So it manifested the black man and the black woman. Yep, I don't know if it were two stars that came down and you know, hit the soil and hit Mother Earth. And, you know, I don't know how it happened. But, yeah, makes sense to me. That Adam and Eve shit, that might be white folks beginning. But it ain't ours and stuff because, you know, so yeah, we the manifestation of the ethers, of the cosmos. And, you know, all of that right there it was done waking it up. Yeah. Kind of like, you know, waking a sleeping giant or something like that. I just hear that a lot. But, it's bigger than us. It is bigger than us, honey. This whole fallacy they done fed us, this whole illusion of inclusion. Honey, it's time to see past that bullshit. Ain't nobody trying to spend their forever and ever and ever with white folks' evil, demonic ass. Ain't even been no justice served, given, offered, paid here on earth for our ancestors. Then you mean tell me, because where I'm from, Jesus forgive you. God will forgive you if you ask him and repent, repay your debt, don't never do it again. Help others to not make them mistakes and stuff. God will forgive you. Yeah, you get into heaven. That's what I learned and stuff. And so I'm like, oh, so they ask for forgiveness too, because all of them, all these white folks led out their whole life. They lived good, long lives. They had families and stuff. Great-grandchildren. Carolyn Bryant, the one that lied on Emmett Till, lived in Kentucky, lived her whole life in Kentucky. She had cancer, but I'm sure she made her amends with the higher power, and she got forgiven. Because if the higher power forgives, then it just don't make no sense to me that our ancestors would be in heaven. It don't make no sense, see, for Black Jesus to be in heaven with white folks. That's Willie Brown. That's Willie Brown. It don't make no sense to me for him, all of them, to be in heaven with white folks forever and ever and ever. Say who? Where the justice at for them? Where the justice at for my ancestors? I'm like, damn, you ain't gonna give it to them here on earth. Are they gonna get it in heaven? How? With these same How? With these same people. Because they don't know, they don't remember, because I think the Bible said the dead don't know they dead in one part of it. I don't know. We'll have to look it up. It's one of the contradictions. But I just don't see where the justice is at for them in heaven, whether they remember or not what happened. God remember. That's who in heaven. God and Jesus. Jesus said he the only way to heaven and stuff. I know y'all got different religions and gods, and his name is different and stuff like that. I don't have a name for cosmic energy. I took it out of the box. I don't call it God. I respect y'all, Yahushua and Yahweh, because where I'm from, we didn't even know nothing about that. It's too many of them. It's so many deities, And Jesus himself got so many deities with the same history as him. I feel like Black America at this point in time, allegedly 2025, you need to be calling on everybody. You need to be calling on Buddha, Krishna, Zoroaster, Horus, Dionysus, Tamun. You need to be calling on everybody, Black America. At this point in time, you've been calling on a cat this whole time, and ain't nobody even came. Ain't nobody came during the worst suffering Black America has ever endured. Ain't nobody ever came. So don't you think it's about time for somebody black to come? I mean, just stop calling on a cat and start calling on a dog if you must. I'm just trying to give us the new information. It's a new day. It's the age of information. Everything being revealed. Other folks telling it on their channels. It just took me this long to get here and say it too. Because that's what we supposed to do. Share what we learning. And I'm learning too. I'm just here to tell y'all what they telling me, what I'm learning. And I thank y'all too, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be here reading this. I'd be reading, damn it, Helen Keller or something like that. But now I want to know what's wrong with my people. Why my people can't come together. Who did something to us? Somebody hurt us. All of us. And I found out. So far, it's white America. It ain't been nobody else. If it is, I'll let y'all know. But as far as I'm concerned, right here, right now, it's white America that gave us so much trauma and torture. Black America, Black people were running from their cities, their towns and stuff, running in droves. Thousands of Black people running for their life. They call it the Hijra of Black people. That's Hegira, Hijra of Black people. That's what it's called. And it means Black people running for their life. Yep, we had to run for our lives. We was in shock. Didn't know what happened to our loved ones, what was going on with them and stuff. Now we reading, this like our 6th book. We started with Red Summer, racial violence in Kentucky, 1865 to 1940, racial violence in the United States. Then we had lynchings in Duluth. Then they were her property. Now we're reading 100 Years of Lynchings. This is what's wrong with us. We got to face this. White folks gonna have to face this. Well, we don't need them to face it with us. They need to deal with this with themselves. At this point, ain't no coming back from this right here. No, this right here, they need to fix themselves. Because we got to heal. And we can't do it with them. No, we're going to have to do this by ourselves. They done kept too much hidden. If it was to be any healing from this, they should have spoke up about it. They should have spoke up about it and stopped being so damn malicious and spiteful and letting everything just go to fuck, go to hell. Long as Black folks get the most of it. Nah, we ain't gonna give out all of that right there. Black folks don't get some of it. Ain't nobody getting none. That's kind of how like white folks are. That's how they are. Then everybody else seem to be over here in America too. And I'm like, well, damn shit. Now they want to treat us white. Like they white. But as you see now, everybody out there, honey, fighting, standing up for their rights. Yeah, standing up for, no, that's wrong. We didn't know y'all were going to do that to us. It's like they almost saying, damn, we thought they were going to just do that to Black folk. But they were telling them, we ain't the immigrants. I don't know. I don't even get into politics and stuff, but maybe I should. We all should at least see what's going on locally, I guess. I don't know. Put it together and just let us know, because hell, I wouldn't know where to go. Be standing down at the wrong damn building, waiting, and yeah. Mm-hmm. But then again, politics and stuff, I don't know. I think here, Black America, you should have crashed the whole damn vulture when you had the chance. But you didn't. So I digress. But now we are reading 100 Years of Lynching, and this is by Ralph Ginsberg. Yeah, this is by Ralph Ginsberg. It's actually a newspaper clippings. And Racial Violence in Kentucky, 1865 to 1940, explained that cities and towns that the towns that had more than one newspaper, they would have different accounts of the lynchings and stuff. So if I read the same brother or sister multiple times, it's just the different newspapers. And sometimes the newspapers, well, they always would embellish the stories, so they would get the more subscribers and they would sell out and stuff. Darn her flying in the air. I've been looking for him, y'all. His ass is under this table right here. I've been looking for him, like, where in the hell is he at? Now I know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what that'll be and stuff. Cause they would embellish the story, you know, so they'll get more sales and stuff like that. But yeah, let's read. St. Louis Argus, May the 27th, 1921. Boy lynched at McGee for no special cause. I lost the this page. Okay. Negro burned alive. Oh no, yeah, we read that. Negro burned alive singing Near My God to Thee. We might be a little further along. I don't think so. Let's just back up some. Okay, we did read this one right here, so we'll start right here. Memphis Commercial Appeal, March the 23rd, 1922. Lynch Negro brothel owner for hiring white girls. Gulfport, Mississippi, March 22nd. The body of Alex Smith, an aged Negro, was found suspended from a bridge near here today. Smith was the proprietor of a house of ill fame. Recently, his establishment was raided and 2 white girls discovered therein. New York American, May 19th, 1922. Torture and burn of Negro. Torture, burn Negro of 15. It's very vague in the articles and stuff, so I'll just read it like they printed it and stuff, because they didn't give no respect whatsoever to any of the articles. But these are not Ralph Ginsberg's views and stuff. It's the newspapers. The media has always been against us. You better get you some black media. New York American, May 19th, 1922. Torture, burn Negro of 15. Davisboro, Georgia, May 18th, May the 18th. Charles Atkins, Atkins, a Negro, 15. One of 4 taken into custody today in connection with the killing of Mrs. Elizabeth Kitchens, 20. A rural mail carrier was burned at the stake tonight. The lynching occurred at the scene of the murder and followed an alleged confession from the prisoner. He was tortured over a slow fire for 15 minutes and then, shrieking with pain, was questioned concerning his accomplices. Atkins was said to have confessed his own guilt, but to have exonerated his brother. Members of the mob of 200 then raised the body again, fastened it to a pine tree with trace chains, and relighted the fire. More than 200 shots were fired into the charred body. New York Herald, May 28, 1922. Doubt lynch victims' guilt. Waco, Texas, May 27. This order, which ruled Waco yesterday and culminated in the burning of the body of Jesse Thomas, Negro, on the public square, has subsided, And persons here are wondering whether the guilty man was lynched for the killing of W. Harold Bolton, Bolton, 25, and the attack on his companion, Mrs. Maggie Hayes, 26, 4 miles from here late Thursday. Thomas was seized on the public square by a telegraph operator while hundreds of citizens in a dozen posses were scouting the countryside. The Negro was hurried to the home of Mrs. Hayes, where the woman arose from her bed and screamed, "That's him!" Sam Harris, father of Mrs. Hayes, seized a pistol and killed the Negro. Mrs. Hayes said Thomas told her the Negroes were ready to launch an organized campaign against white women in revenge for the lynching of Negroes. During the night, Waco officers quelled disturbances. A hearse and a coffin arranged by a Negro undertaker to care for Thomas's body were destroyed. Waco is a strong Ku Klux Klan center and has been the scene of numerous riots. Members of the family of the Negro lynched yesterday were today submitting strong evidence to show that the latest mob victim was at home when Mrs. Hayes was attacked. The lynching of Thomas was the 10th accomplished by mobs in this section in the last 3 weeks. It wasn't even him. And the other books had explained it previously that a lot of times the black men were innocent. They were innocent. Sometimes, more times, they were in relationships with the white women. Either they were caught with the white women and the white women yelled rape, or someone found out that they were involved with a white woman. Then we read stories where if they couldn't get the alleged criminal black man that supposedly had done some crime and stuff, they'll go get his friends, his family. We read stories the other night where they went and got his daddy and lynched his dad. Yeah, Jim Grant, the Ku Klux Klan, went and got his dad, his father, and made him watch while they tortured his son. Then made him leave. He ran for his life. Everybody did. Ran for their life. In shock. No help. No therapy. No nothing. All this time. We ain't had no help, no therapy. We ain't had nothing. Yeah. White folks ain't had no therapy. They just hiding and pretending. Motherfucking pretending. If it was somebody else, another being or spirit or something or demon that took them over and made them do these things, then they need to say something. If they another type of species, then say something for the love of black people that you claim you got. Say something. Hell, we at the end of this now. Whatever you got going on, you hiding and you don't want it to be known and stuff. You can't let it be known. You know, we're not out for retribution or payback. I mean, we're not out for, I might have used the wrong word that time. We're not out for payback or nothing like that, but we need to know, the whole world need to know, what are you? I forgot who I was listening to. Was it Dr. Bobby Hemmett? Said that, might have been Dick Gregory, said that white folks are the greatest mystery in the whole world. In the whole world. I think it was Dick Gregory. Can't be sure. They'll let me know which one it was, or you put it in the chat if you remember, if you heard it. Said that white folks are the greatest mystery. Know everything about everything. Everybody done stole everything, done got everybody to the T, done manipulate everybody to the T, and don't nobody know a damn thing about white folks, where they come from, who are they, why they like this, and all. See, we don't know this history. Black America don't know this history. Other folks, other groups of people know this. I don't know if they ain't said nothing, told us. Y'all need to get away from white folks. I don't know if maybe they thought we knew, but hell, they knew we couldn't read. Everybody could read but us. We would get lynched, burned to death, because we reading, lashed, just because we read. But I don't know. It seemed to me like everybody have been having their hand in it, been playing us for a fool and a dummy. Sure have. But they know they people is getting prepared. They know when the shit hit the fan. They people got some resources for them to go to. Got some bunkers for their ass to go to. Black people, we just left out. Everybody ain't said nothing. Make me think, damn, all y'all in on this bullshit? For real? If they ain't proven, then why everybody out there? Everybody out there, you're out there fighting for your rights and stuff because now you're feeling that oppression. And that's what Martin said. Injustice against one is injustice against all. Everybody getting some of this oppression now. But I digress. Why white America and everybody else is out there, they need to go on and tell they big brothers to cut the check for Black America. Yeah, I mean, if you truly sincerely feel like you say you do. But, that's neither here nor there because we're going to do for us anyway. It just remains, are we going to be, able to coexist together after all of this? Or is everybody going to be like, oh, no, let's keep Black America under the bottom? I sincerely want to know, is everybody, oh, no, let's keep Black America under the bottom. Then we all can be, okay. Instead of saying, oh, hell no, we're going to make sure everybody get what they supposed to get. And everybody know we ain't received our reparations. Shit, y'all ask, you got all your friends and stuff, your white friends and stuff, ask that motherfucking ass shit. Hey, man, since y'all really care that much for all the motherfucking love, you ain't use your voice or your vote to help us get nothing. Man, but I digress. Yeah. New York call, May 29, 1922. Despite lynching, 5 more are seized for the same crime. Yeah, they lynched one black man for the crime and then went and got 5 more black men and lynched them for the crime. A lot of these crimes and stuff were committed by white men. It was committed by white men. We done read it. At the end of the story, it'd be like, oh, it came to find out that it was her husband. And white folks know these things. But they won't never tell on each other, though. Waco, Texas, May 28th. Jesse Thomas, Negro, who was burned at the stake by a mob here Friday, may not have been the man who murdered Harold Belton and assaulted his girl companion, authorities feared yesterday. And 5 other Negroes will be held in jail until further investigation has been made. Officers were trying to link the murder of Belton with 2 other unsolved crimes committed here recently. Brooklyn Citizen, May 6, 1922. Triple lynching follows thrilling Texas manhunt. Kervin, Texas, that's Kirvin, Kervin, Texas, May 6. 3 colored men were burned here at dawn for the murder of Eula Ausley, Ausley, pretty 17-year-old schoolgirl, whose body was found near here yesterday with 30 stab wounds. Now that sounds personal. The 3 men were tied, one after another, to the seat of a cultivator, driven into the center of the city square, and burned before a mob of 500. Shap, S-H-A-P, Shap Curry, C-U-R-R-Y, 26, Mose Jones, 44, and John Cornish, 19, were the victims. All 3 worked on the huge ranch of John King, the girl's grandfather. Curry was burned first. There was some delay in starting in as much as the men maintained their innocence to the last. Third-degree methods failed to bring confessions. They was innocent, y'all. The men were not shot, but their bodies were mutilated prior to burning. Ears, toes, and fingers were snipped off. Eyes were gouged out. No organ of the Negroes was allowed to remain protruding. After this preliminary mob vengeance, preachers from the 2 churches which flanked the square came forward and prayed for the salvation of the blacks' souls. As Carey was saturated with oil and set aflame, he chanted over and over again, "Oh Lord, I'm a-coming." As the flames mounted about his body, his chant rose higher and higher until he could be heard throughout the downtown part of town. Kerry lost consciousness in 10 minutes and died. Jones was then roped and dragged over the hot coals, and more wood was thrown on. In 6 minutes, he too was dead. Cornish received the same treatment. Still more fuel was added, and the 3 bodies were roasted in a bonfire that was kept going for 6 hours. The lynchings followed one of the most thrilling manhunts in the history of these parts. Farmers and businessmen of 3 counties joined together to comb every inch of the territory. Creek bottoms were beaten all day, and acres of grassland were flattened. Finally, the 3 men were captured and brought to Fairfield, where a mob gathered and took them from the sheriff after storming the jail. New York Call, May 7, 1922. Sheriff holds 2 whites in crime that 3 burned for. Fairfield, Texas, May 6. Cliff and Arnie Powell, 2 white men, were detained today for further questioning in connection with the murder of Eula Osley, for which 3 Negroes were burned at Kervin this morning. Sheriff H.M. Mayo declared that tracks leading from the scene of the murder led to the home of the brothers. The shoes of the Powells fit the tracks, was the terse comment of the sheriff. One of the brothers was arrested yesterday, and the other one surrendered after the mob had taken the Negroes from the jail here, said the sheriff. The King and Powell families had some kind of fight some time ago, in which one of the Powells was badly cut. This is just another clue we are following up. Miss Osley was granddaughter of John King, wealthiest rancher in these parts. Apart from their family feudings, the Kings and Powells have been involved in legal battles against one another. New York World, January 2nd, 1923, finds triple lynch victims were probably innocent. There were 61 lynchings in the United States in 1922, according to records made public today by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Of these, the most ironic was the burning to death of 3 Negroes at Kervin, Texas on May 6, says the report. The triple lynching was so horrible and unfair that the association sent an investigator to the scene. The men were burned at the same stake by a mob of 500 men for their alleged implication in the murder of a 17-year-old white girl. Our investigator, Mr. Dan Kelly, a native white Texan, found that the girl had probably been murdered in the course of a long-standing feud between her family and another white family. Atlanta Constitution. Yes, see, I had that page bent down. I guess that's where we was at. Yeah, let's catch up. Atlanta Constitution, June 1st, 1930. Mob overcomes National Guard to lynch accused rapist. Chickasha, Oklahoma, May 31st. Henry Argo, a 19-year-old Negro accused of attacking a white woman, was shot in the head and stabbed twice near the heart today by a lynch mob which attacked him in his jail cell. Believed by the mob to be dead, he was removed in a blanket and taken to the University of Oklahoma Hospital in Oklahoma City, 50 miles away, where he died 1 hour later. A fight between law enforcement officers and the mob that preceded the mob's entry into the jail resembled a pitched battle between 2 armies at war. Remarkably, no one was fatally wounded but the Negro. A mob of 1,000 men and boys massed in front of the jail early last night and made a number of unsuccessful attempts to seize Argo. Leader of the attacks was W.G. Skinner, Skinner, husband of the woman who is alleged to have been attacked by Argo, of the woman, but it's spelled as women. Argo was picked up on the highway 2 miles from the center home soon after the attack and held on suspicion. Argo denied his guilt. The mob's first advance on the jail was repulsed by deputy sheriffs shooting over their heads. Emboldened, the mob returned with battering rams and sledgehammers and began to break down the steel door of the jail. Just then, 30 National Guardsmen, ordered out by Adjutant General Charles F. Barrett, arrived in a truck. The guardsmen fired blanks from a machine gun. Ain't that some shit? Aiming over the heads of the mob men who were momentarily driven back from the jail door. The mob men retaliated with a rain of bricks, pavement blocks, and bottles that broke every window in the jail and sent the guardsmen fleeing for cover inside the jail. The mobsters then set fire to a guard truck, cut all power and telephone lines to the jail, and snipped the hose of a fire brigade that had arrived to help disperse the crowd. Nothing but fucking clowns. Trying to get at that black man. With the guardsmen as virtual prisoners within the jail, trapped on the second floor, the mob stacked a pile of mattresses in a downstairs room, soaked it with gasoline, and sent a dense smoke aloft. The guardsmen came down coughing. They came to terms with the mobsters, virtually surrendering. The mob permitted the guardsmen to leave the building and to take with them all the prisoners but Henry Argo. The fire on the ground floor was then extinguished. Rioters seeking clubs and brickbats raced through the building, tearing out water pipes and flooding the interior of the jail, which added to the confusion. A number of mobsters advanced to the door of Argo's cell. Finding the door locked, they began to break open the wall. Argo fought desperately, hurling everything within reach. At one point, he wrenched an iron bar from one of the attackers and drove the rest of them back with it, flailing it wildly, injuring a number of the men. It was during this confusion that a sniper, unnoticed, climbed up a vine outside the jail, aimed a pistol at Argo's head, and shot him near the brain. Shortly thereafter, W.G. Skinner, husband of Argo's alleged victim, managed to enter the cell and stab Argo twice above the heart. With Henry Argo a heap on the floor, the mob dispersed. Argo was then taken to Oklahoma City, where he died. Skinner, a tenant farmer in overalls who lives in a mud hut, was an important man in town today. He was as much in demand at sidewalk gatherings and was asked time and again to tell and retell his part in the lynching. This afternoon, he collapsed on the jailhouse lawn and was taken to a hospital suffering overexhaustion. Editorial from the New York Telegram, July 12, 1930. A Southern statesman. The question whether lynching is justifiable is figuring in the United States senatorial campaign in South Carolina, unbelievable as it may seem. Wow. Senator Coleman L. Blease, B-L-E-A-S-E, up for re-election, discussed the subject in a campaign address. Whenever the Constitution comes between me and the virtue of white women in South Carolina, I say to hell with the Constitution. Blease is quoted as having said recently at the scene of a recent lynching where he was seeking the local vote. When he was governor, he added pridefully, he did not call out the militia. He added pridefully, he did not call out the militia to protect Negroes against mobs, and asked that when a suspect was caught, he not be notified until the next morning. This is Senator Coleman L. Blease. It would be difficult to equal such a statement for sheer barbarity and demagogism. Demagogism, D-E-M-A-G-O-G-I-S-M. That's a new word. It is a deliberate invitation to the people of South Carolina by an acknowledged leader who boasts that he has held more political offices than any other man in the history of the state to supersede normal legal processes with lynch law and mob violence. And there has been plenty of that in the South in recent weeks. We cannot believe that such savagery reflects the views of the people of South Carolina. Obviously, men like Blease have no place in the Senate or in any other public office. It would be interesting to observe whether the decent people of South Carolina are willing to bear the stigma of having him again represent them. Atlanta Constitution, September the 10th, 1930. Mob disbands after talk by glib police captain. A nervy police captain with courage, a sense of humor, and a gift of gab used all three Tuesday night to disperse an angry mob of several hundred men who gathered suddenly about the Negro Clinic of Grady Hospital, where Robert Glaze, Glaze, Negro held in connection with the fatal shooting Monday night of John B. McWhorter, streetcar operator, lay seriously wounded. Red Summer was by McWhorter, McWhir. Yeah, McWhorter. And this here is McWhorter. As a result of the smoothness with which Captain Grover C. Fane, under instructions of Chief of Police James L. Beavers, handled what was for a time a menacing situation, the crowd disbanded in an orderly manner, and the suspect was quietly removed to Fulton County Jail, where his alleged confederate in the robbery attempt, Willie Lee Cox, also wounded, likewise is being held. Earlier in the night, according to police, Chief Beavers had instructed Captain Fane to keep an extra watch of reserves on duty, both at headquarters and at the hospital. Both watches were assigned by the night captain, the one at the hospital having instructions to notify headquarters in the event any untoward developments occurred. Shortly after 8 o'clock, Captain Fane received a telephone call from the hospital detachment. As a result, he immediately phoned Chief Beavers at the latter's home, ordered the reserves at the station and all available call officers to go to the vicinity of the hospital. There it was discovered that a large crowd thronged the sidewalk near the Negro Clinic. It was a nondescript mob composed largely of men in civilian clothes, police said. A buzz of excitement throbbed through its ranks as the police cars drew up. Chief Beavers was among the first of the officers to reach the scene. One man, apparently a leader of the men, saw Captain Fane and stepped forward to meet him. It was then that the captain employed his nerve, humor, and diplomacy. Without displaying any official resentment or anger, he began to talk to the unidentified leader and those who surged around him. He reminded them that they were supposed to be law-abiding citizens. He spoke sympathetically on the death of McWhorter and called the attention to the work of the officers on his watch who had captured the suspected slayers. When the front ranks of the mob showed signs of restlessness and began once more to move forward, Captain Fane met nerve with nerve, indicating an imaginary line across the sidewalk. He adopted a law often used by old-time skippers of four-masted schooners. Indicating an imaginary line across the sidewalk, he adopted a law often used by old-time skippers of four-masted schooners, schooners. Now you men, he said, are law-abiding citizens up to now, but you are just about to become lawbreakers, and the first man that steps across that line violates the law. I represent the law here, and whoever violates that law is going to have to answer to me and my men. The tall leader and those nearest Captain Fane eyed him silently for a minute or so, saying nothing. Then the tall man turned and said, "The captain is right, boys. Let's go back." The crowd began to walk back towards Piedmont Avenue. A certain element in it, however, still hung with dissatisfaction, and the victory the captain had won was perilously near an open break when another unidentified man broke from the ranks and came up to the captain. In a rage, he threw his hat to the ground in front of Captain Fane's feet. He surveyed Captain Fane with cold eyes, then challenged, "Spit in that hat." But the police official's sense of humor came to the fore here. His eyes twinkling in the streetlight, Captain Fane placed his hands on his hips. Listen, fella, he scoffed. You've got more sense than that, haven't you? Why, son, if I were to spit in your eyes, I'd drown you. Now, isn't that a fine way for a grown man to act? Throw his best hat on the ground and invite a captain of police to spit in it. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. The crowd began to laugh, and the unidentified challenger, having been exposed to the ridicule of his own ranks, lost his point. Within 5 minutes, the entire throng had dispersed. And that's one that saved someone's life. But there was other stories in the other books and stuff where they attacked the man. Remember the one man, the one sheriff or the mayor that tried to stop him, and he was standing on top of the car, the hood of the car, and honey, the white folk, that mob went wild on him, honey. They yanked him down off that car, honey, and drug him and were finna lynch his ass to the telephone pole. Yeah. And that's because they never did stand up against the mob. Hell, shoot a motherfucker. Shit, it's worth it to save a black life. They in the wrong. They breaking the law. It's inhumane. But I digress. Atlanta Constitution, September 11th, 1930. Possibly one, maybe other lynch victims were innocent. Darien, Georgia, Darien. So Darien, Georgia, September 10th. Of 2 Negroes lynched here last Monday and Tuesday in connection with the killing of one policeman and the wounding of another. At least one positively was the wrong man, according to a statement issued here yesterday by Mayor R.A. Young. We are convinced that the Negro who was shot by a posse and taken to Savannah where he died was not one of the 2 suspected of intent to rob the Bank of Darien, said the mayor's statement. 2 Negroes loitering near the Bank of Darien were suspected of intent to rob the bank by Officer Ora Anderson here on Sunday night. Anderson hid in a shadow near the bank intended to observe the 2 Negroes. Anderson hid in a shadow near the bank intended to observe the 2 Negroes. One of the Negroes caught sight of him crouching in the shadows and is said to have opened fire. Anderson was slightly wounded. A posse quickly formed and a systematic search of swamps and outlying territory was quickly begun. George Grant, a Negro, was located in the swamps. Before he was seized, he shot Officer Bob Freeman fatally. And that was Jim Grant that I was talking about earlier. Grant was brought to the jail here in Darien, where a man shot him to death. Before dying, he was questioned about the man who was thought to have been his companion in front of the bank. Grant is quoted as having said that his name was Brian. An alarm went out and 4 Negroes named Brian were rounded up. Among them was Willie Bryan, 24, who was located at a house on the Ridge, a place about 4 miles from Darien. As he and the search party were leaving his house, Bryan is said to have attempted to flee. He was shot twice in the chest and soon died. The location of bullet holes in his chest was explained by the posse as having resulted from Bryan turning around to fire at the posse as he fled. Concluding his statement, Mayor Young said, Officer Anderson has given us the evidence that eliminates Willie Bryan as a suspect. On the basis of Officer Anderson's assurance, I am wiring the police heads of Savannah, Brunswick, and Jacksonville to keep a sharp lookout for Fred Bryan, the Negro we really want. Officer Anderson, after seeing Willie Bryan, has reported to me that he is not the man who was Grant's companion. The Negro shot weighed about 162 pounds and was dark. The Negro, Fred Bryan, whom we want, weighs over 200 pounds and is ginger cake in color. The most lamentable part of this whole affair is the death of police officer Bob Freeman of Brunswick. Our sincere sympathy goes out to his family. Montgomery Advertiser, September 24th, 1930. Hunting Negro in Swamp. Thomasville, Georgia, September the 24th. A crowd of several hundred men was reported searching a swamp near here tonight for an unidentified Negro who today attempted to attack a 9-year-old white girl on her way home from school. Officers reported that highways in the vicinity of the swamp were choked with automobiles. New York Negro World, October the 4th, 1930. Prison warden doubts guilt of Negro lynched in Georgia. Thomasville, Georgia, September the 25th. A mob of 75 men today arrested Willie Kirkland, a young Negro convict, from the hands of the sheriff, hanged him to a tree in the suburb of Magnolia Gardens, and after riddling his body with bullets, toted it through the town behind a truck and deposited it on the courthouse lawn. Toted it through the town behind a truck and deposited it on the courthouse lawn. Willie Kirkland. Willie Kirkland. If you live in the Magnolia Gardens, Kirkland, who was 20 and a trustee at the Country Stockade, a prison camp where he was serving out a term for stealing a horse, was said to have been twice identified by a 9-year-old schoolgirl as the man who had attempted to attack her. But the warden of the camp expressed doubt as to Kirkland's guilt, saying the Negro did not leave the stockade yesterday, the day of the attack. Prominent citizens of the town tried to reason with the mob and prevent the slaying, but as the sheriff brought Kirkland out of the stockade to take him to another jail for safekeeping, the father of the girl raised a shotgun to kill the Negro. Someone knocked the gun down, but the parents' action seemed almost a signal for the mob to attack. The sheriff was disarmed and Kirkland placed on a motor truck and driven to Magnolia Gardens, not far from the winter home of Harry Payne Whitney and the former residences of the late Mark Hanna and John D. Archibald. There, the Negro was hanged to an oak tree and shots were fired into his body. Y'all know I don't think I ever hear that song, Oak Tree the Same Again. You know, the time, Morris Day. And let's read. When the mob was sure Kirkland was dead, the body was cut down and towed back to the courthouse. This was the mob's demonstration of contempt for the law, which would not have prescribed death for Kirkland under any circumstances, since the assault was not accomplished. Witnesses told the sheriff they were unable to identify any members of the mob. The attack on the girl was frustrated when her screams brought her mother to her aid. A posse was formed quickly, and bloodhounds trailed the child's assailant to the stockade. Kirkland was arrested, and the girl identified him. The next morning, she again picked him out from 4 other Negroes as the man who had tried to attack her. It was then that a restless crowd formed around the county jail, and word that Kirkland had been transferred to the stockade led it to the camp just as the sheriff was removing the Negro. The sheriff, the only witness at the inquest, told the coroner's jury he was unable to identify any of the mob. The jury decided that Kirkland came to his death at the hands of unknown persons. They never tell on each other. Editorial from the Literary Digest, January 31st, 1931. Missouri's is the shame. Almost all of Maryville, almost all of Maryville, 3,000 strong, it is reported, turned out for the feast of blood. It's not normal, y'all. Ain't none of this normal. Ain't none of this normal. And throngs. It was 10,000 white people at the lynching of John Hartfield in 1919. Little kids sitting in the trees. 10,000. A strong wind was blowing, and the little schoolhouse with the Negro bound on the ridge pole and plentifully soaked with gasoline made a spectacular blaze. In 10 minutes, it was over. Schoolhouse and Negro were reduced to ashes. It was the first lynching of 1931, and Missouri's is the shame. The Negro had been on his way to the courthouse for a preliminary trial when he was seized by the mob, according to a dispatch from the St. Louis Star. Ample preparations for the funeral pyre had been made. There's Pyre, funeral pyre, like a bonfire. All the furniture had been removed from the schoolhouse, and the Negro, showing remarkable coolness, was made to climb a ladder to the roof. Then a hole was cut in the roof, and through this the Negro was bound to the ridge pole with a 10-foot chain. His head hanging down one side of the roof and his feet the other. I can't imagine how that. Wait a minute now. There was a hole cut in the roof, and through this the Negro was bound to the ridge pole. What's a ridge pole? It was bound to the ridge pole with a 10-foot chain. His head hanging down one side of the roof and his feet the other side of the roof. One of the mob poured gasoline over the prostrate man. Gasoline was then sprinkled inside the building, and all was ready for the match. After the fire, the crowd, which had been looking on in silence, walked slowly away, like ain't nothing even happened. White folks walked slowly away like ain't nothing happened. They just had to get that fiend and that feast for blood, for black blood. This one, they didn't cut no fingers, they didn't mutilate, they didn't take no souvenirs, they just walked silently away. Soulless, spiritless. All of this is a pretense. All this is a motherfucking pretense. Don't be a fool and a goddamn dummy. Thus was avenged the honor of a 19-year-old school teacher who several weeks before had been confessedly mistreated and done with death by the Negro on whom the mob wreaked its vengeance. New York Sun, November the 9th, 1931. Doubt of guilt found in most of 1930s lynchings. Atlantia, that's Atlantia, Georgia, Atlantia. Maybe it's a misprint. November the 9th. Conclusions that 2 of the 21 persons lynched in 1930 certainly were innocent, and 11 others possibly so, were advanced today by the Southern Commission on the Study of Lynching, along with a criticism of hasty trials and legal lynchings. The commission listed as findings of a year's survey that, number 1, there's real doubt of guilt of at least half the victims of mob violence. Number 2, fewer than 1/4 of the persons lynched since 1890 have been accused of assaults upon white women. Number 3, claims that lynchings are necessary because courts do not convict Negroes for their crimes are fallacious. That's a new word, fallacious. Fallacious. Number 4, mob leaders can be identified without difficulty, although grand jury indictments seldom are brought. Number 5, lynching is most frequent per tens of thousands of Negro population in sparsely settled areas. Number 6, there is direct relationship between lack of education, low economic status, and lynching danger. The report was made public here today by the commission's chairman, George Milton, president and editor of the Chattanooga News. Regarding offenses that resulted in lynchings, the commission said one man was lynched solely because he had offended political opponents and another to prevent his appearance as a witness in a serious court case against white men. In some cases, the commission said it found reason to suspect victims had been deliberately framed for purposes of concealment or revenge. Georgia led in contributing to the 3,603 recorded lynchings since 1889, with 465. Mississippi had 462. Texas had 360 lynchings, and Louisiana had 349 lynchings. The commission concluded that lynching, while decreasing during the last 3 decades, was becoming more exclusively a Southern phenomenon, with 97% of the year's lynchings occurring in the South in recent years. New York Sun, June 14, 1932. Sheriff and Negro killed. 6 deputies wounded by mob. Winnsboro, South Carolina. That's Winnsboro. Winnsboro, South Carolina, June 14th. 6 deputies were wounded, and Sheriff Hood was killed today when they fought a desperate battle in front of the courthouse to keep a mob from lynching a Negro prisoner. Despite the posse's fight, the Negro was wrested from them, and the infuriated crowd shot him to death. Hackensack, New Jersey, Evening Record. What song is that? Billy Joel song? Hackensack? Hackensack, New Jersey. Hackensack, New Jersey, Evening Record, February 20th, 1933. Lynch Negro for killing man who defended wife. I'm going to have to listen to that again. Ringgold, Louisiana. Ringgold, Ringgold, Louisiana. February 20th. A Negro who kidnapped a banker and his wife in an attempted robbery and killed the man for defending the woman against attack was lynched by citizens at the scene of the slaying yesterday. Officers said the Negro, identified as Nelson Nash, 24, of Leesville, Louisiana, early yesterday morning entered the home of J.P. Batchelor, 50, of the Ringgold Bank, and forced Batchelor and his wife to take him to the bank and open the doors. When Batchelor told the Negro he could not open the vault, the bandit forced the couple, stealing their nightclothes, to accompany him down the railroad tracks about a mile north of the town, where he allegedly attempted to attack the woman. Batchelor grappled with the Negro as his wife ran to a nearby cabin to summon aid. The husband was severely beaten about the head and died of his injuries. As news of the crime spread, several hundred citizens organized posses and captured Nash 15 miles away and brought him back to Ringgold, where officers said he confessed to the slaying. The crowd spirited the Negro away to the scene of the slaying, hanged him from a tree, and riddled his body with bullets. Indianapolis Recorder, March the 4th, 1933. Lynched for killing banker. Negro was the wrong man. Ringgold, Louisiana, March the 1st. Nelson Nash, young Negro who was brutally lynched here February the 19th, was the wrong man. The perpetrator of the crime for which Nash was an unwilling victim may well have been a white man. This was revealed today after careful investigation of the circumstances surrounding the lynching had been made by a correspondent of this paper. Just before the lynching, at a sheriff's questioning, the wife of the man for whose murder Nash was lynched positively refused to identify the lynched man as the one who murdered her husband, J.P. Batchelor, white local banker. Batchelor and his wife were forced to leave their home by his murderer and accompany him to the Ringgold Bank. Batchelor was killed by the man when he refused to open the safe at his command. The man wore no mask, and Mrs. Batchelor had full view of his face and profile. Though she would not say whether her husband's assailant was white or colored, she did refuse to specify Nash as the guilty party. How was he going to force both of them, a black man, to the bank, then down some tracks? Though she would not say whether her husband's assailant was white or colored, she did refuse to specify Nash as the guilty party. First press reports failed to specify Batchelor's murder as a Negro. They also originally placed the number of the lynch mob at 500 of this town of 1,500 population. A more careful checkup based on corroborating testimony of eyewitnesses places the number at 40, and it is said that they were not mobsters from the poor section, but wealthy businessmen and friends of Batchelor. Nash was arrested shortly after the murder of Batchelor and taken before Mrs. Batchelor for identification. Even after Mrs. Batchelor failed to connect Nash with the crime, the posse remained determined to avenge the crime with their own hands. Protesting and proclaiming his innocence, Nash was taken to the woods outside of town. He asked the mob to spare him a few minutes to pray. The mob told him to open his mouth and stick out his tongue. He did so. The tongue was grasped with a pair of auto pliers and severed by a razor. An attempt to burn Nash was made, but it was found that the grass and wood was too wet to accommodate such a slow death. Instead, he was strung up from a tree. He protested his innocence until a volley of bullets killed him. Nash, age 24, was known to be a peaceful young man, and he had never before been in trouble with the law. How can we forget all of them? How can we not be interested in knowing them? Our own people. Some of these places, y'all know them, been through them, know where they at, live in the same vicinity of them. Some of these last names, y'all know them. You know that last name. You know that name. These are our people that suffered these things. New York Herald Tribune, March 27, 1933. Doctor rescues Negro lad. Lowell, North Carolina, Lowell, March 24th, March 26th. A physician here today saved a Negro from a lynch mob by hiding him in his cellar. A 20-year-old youth stealthily approached the home of Dr. James W. Reed and told him that a mob was searching for him, having accused him of attempting to assault Miss Kathleen Jenkins, a 16-year-old white girl. The doctor hid the youth in his basement as the mob combed the neighborhood around his house. After they left, the doctor drove the Negro to Charlotte for safekeeping in the Mecklenburg County Jail. Atlanta Constitution. And it's the one that they didn't go get him. Atlanta Constitution, July the 6th, 1933. Negro and white scuffle. Negro is jailed, lynched. Clinton, South Carolina, July the 5th. A Negro truck driver who had come to blows with a white truck driver was found dead today. Norris Bendy, Nerris Bendy, Norris Bendy, Lawrence County Negro, Laurens, Lawrence County. Lawrence County Negro had argued yesterday with Marvin Tallis, white, after each had driven a truckload of 4th of July picnickers to Lake Mary. When the men came to blows, the Negro was arrested. Sometime this morning, the Negro was spirited away from the Clinton jail. Later, his body, showing signs of shooting, beating, and strangulation, was found 7 miles from here by Deputy Sheriff Thad Moore. It was hanging from a tree on the lawn of the old Sardis Church. That's the old Sardis, Sardis, the old Sardis Church. Knoxville Journal, July the 23rd, 1933. Mysterious lynching in Mississippi. Columbus, Mississippi, July the 22nd. Mystery shrouds the lynching of a Negro which took place at the little town of Caledonia, 15 miles north of here. First reports merely stated that a Negro had been lynched last Friday after he allegedly insulted a white woman. Subsequent efforts by newsmen to secure details of the lynching met with outright denials that a lynching had taken place. Later, it was admitted, however, that an unnamed Negro had been hanged. It is said that the Negro went to a farmhouse and made an improper proposal to a white girl. The white girl sent him away with the understanding that he was to meet her later in the nearby cotton field. When he appeared at the designated time, he was met by a band of white men who was waiting for him. The band seized him, hanged him, riddled him with bullets, and quietly dispersed. New York Herald Tribune, October the 10th, 1933. South Carolina lynchers slay Negro. One tells of police help. 96 South Carolina. That's the name of it, 96. NINETYSIX. 96 South Carolina, October the 9th. A coroner's jury ordered 4 men held late today on the charge of murdering Bennie Thompson. That's Bennie Thompson, BENNIE Youthful Negro was taken from the jail here last night and beaten to death. The action was taken by the jury after Burley Leopard had read a statement admitting that he and 3 white men had taken the youth from his cell and whipped him with automobile top tubes. The men implicated by Leopard were J.F. Morris, Lesty Mays. That's his nickname, Lesty. No, J.F. Morris, Lesty Mays. That I guess is Lester, but his nickname is Lesty. Lesty Mays and Tootie, Toody, Tootie Wells. Leopard, a textile worker, and Mays were in jail tonight, but officers were still searching for the other 2. We and the others had some trouble with the Negro at a cafe last night, and he drew a pistol on us, Leopard's statement said. The Negro was arrested and put in jail. Later, the 4 of us went to the jail and asked the jailer to turn the Negro over to us. He refused, telling us we would have to see the chief. Chief of Police Rush came in a few minutes later, and we made the same request of him. He told us to wait until dark and come back, and we were found the jail unlocked. We went back to the jail a short time later, and we found the door open and the lock hanging in the cell door, pushed together as if it had been locked. We took the Negro out and drove him down the road in my car. All of us beat him with automobile top tubes and left him beside the road still alive. Leopard said this was at 7:30 o'clock last night. Just after 8 o'clock this morning, the Negro's body, bearing many welts, was found in plain view of the highway by a small Negro boy. Solicitor H.S. Blackwell, who attended the inquest, said he would ask that Chief of Police Rush be indicted as an accessory to the killing. Chief Rush made a statement tonight denying the textile workers charged that he had aided them in taking the Negro from his cell. I have been an officer a long time, and I would never be guilty of such a dirty trick as that, he said. New York Times, October the 19th, 1933. Maryland witnesses wildest lynching orgy in history. That's what it says. Maryland witnesses wildest lynching orgy in history. Princess Anne, Maryland, October the 18th. Let's see what time it is. And we ain't gonna be all night. We gonna finish this book, but we not gonna be all night because it's a lot to process. And I do appreciate y'all being here. Hi, Shantae. It's so good to see you, my sister. It's so good to see you. I miss you too, Lele. I miss you. Hi, Art. It's good to see you. Peace. Hi, Anu. It's so good to see you. And D, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We doing good with time. We're going to read a few more, and then we're going to process this. And, we're going to finish this book. It won't be but a few more days, y'all. Oh, my ancestors. Look at that. I say, probably 2 more days of reading. Maybe 3. 2 or 3. We'll see. In the wildest lynching orgy the state has ever witnessed, a frenzied mob of 3,000 men, women, and children, sneering at guns and tear gas, overpowered 50 state troopers, tore from a prison cell a Negro prisoner accused of attacking an aged white woman, and lynched him in front of the home of a judge who had tried to placate the mob. Then the mob cut down the body, dragged it through the main thoroughfares for more than half an hour. For more than half a mile, and tossed it on a burning pyre. 50 state policemen and deputies battled vainly with the crowd in front of the jail, tossing tear bombs in an effort to disperse it. 50 policemen against 3,000 savages. 5 policemen were beaten to the ground, and the others were swept aside by the fury of townsmen and farmers, who used a heavy wooden battering ram to smash 3 doors and reach the cell of the terrified prisoner, George Armwood, 24-year-old. George Armwood was dragged by the neck through the streets to the home of Judge Robert F. Dewar, who earlier in the day had called the Somerset County Grand Jury in special session next Monday to hear testimony against the Negro. While the prisoner pleaded desperately for his life and members of the mob, shouted, "Lynch him!" A rope was placed about his neck. The other end was swung over the limb of a tree directly in front of the judge's dwelling. To accompanying shouts of, "Let him swing," the struggling Negro was hoisted into the air. 5 minutes later, he was cut down dead. Then members of the mob, shouting, seized the loose end of the rope and dragged the body half a mile on Main Street to a blazing pile in the center of a thoroughfare. The dead man was lifted high by half a dozen men and flung to the flames. Hundreds of persons, packed so thickly about the fire that police could not fight their way through, watched the body burn. George Armwood, who was arrested on Monday night, confessed to police that he had waylaid Mrs. Mary Denston, 82, on a lonely road near Monacan, 8 miles from this place, and had attacked her. He was smuggled into the county prison this morning, but word soon spread that he was here. Men about 100 began to gather about noon. They marched about the jail, shouting and demanding that the prisoner be surrendered to them. A guard of 35 men, augmented by deputy sheriffs, surrounded the prison. In the afternoon, an emergency call for state police was sent to Governor Ritchie at Baltimore. A score of troopers reported in the late afternoon, armed with riot sticks and tear bombs. In addition, the governor directed that the American Legion be asked to guard the prisoner. E.C. Young, local post commander, spurned the appeal. "I have no authority as commander of this legion to call out its members as a military unit or a police duty. I am willing as a legionnaire to protect the townspeople and their property. However, I have no desire personally as a citizen, as a legionnaire, or as a commander of a legion post to engage in police duty for the protection of a Negro charged with such an atrocious crime. The laws of our organization forbid such use." Hoping to allay mob feeling, Judge Dewar had recalled the grand jury to hear evidence against George Armwood and announced that the Somerset Court would convene in special session a week from tomorrow to try Armwood. The crowd became more and more unruly as the afternoon and the evening wore on. However, at about 9 o'clock, the attack on the jail began. The march to the scene of the lynching of George Armwood was wild in the extreme. The mob members, this is 3,000, Men, women, children, pregnant women, old men, young girls. Hey, some of them, it said in the books, they had their babies with them, little infants at these lynchings. They came from everywhere. They came walking, running, jogging, with shoes, without shoes, in wheelbarrows and stuff, however they could get there. Kids got out of school early. They let the train be free so people could go to the lynchings. It was their fantasy. It was their carnivals. The crowd became more and more unruly as the afternoon and evening wore on. However, at about 9 o'clock, the attack on the jail began. The march to the scene of the lynching of Armwood was wild in the extreme. The mob members seemed to be crazed. They seemed to be crazed. The mob members seemed crazed, continually leaping on the Negro, even after he fell to the ground and was unable to rise. One boy, apparently about 18 years old, slashed the Negro's ear almost off with a knife. Under the oak tree, despite the presence of women and children, all the victim's clothes was torn from his body, and he hung there for some minutes, nude. They all looking at him, looking at his privacy, wanting it. The women and the men, the kids too. After they had burned the body, the mob members disbanded. Rumors are current that the mob will reform later to lynch John Richardson, a white man with whom Armstrong was riding at the time he was picked up. Richardson is in jail for safekeeping. New York Times, October the 20th. I think this is going to be it here. New York Times, October the 20th, 1933. Nearly lynched by accident. Baltimore, October the 19th. A Negro demonstrator was nearly hanged by accident here today as a large number of communists and members of the International Labor Defense assembled in City Hall Plaza to protest the lynching of George Armwood. The demonstrator, his neck in a noose under an imitation gallows, was standing in a truck which was labeled Protest Lynching of George Armwood. Police were escorting the truck to the meeting place when it hit a bump in the pavement. The Negro lost his balance and for a moment gave a realistic exhibition of a hanging. He was quickly restored to his feet, though. So whose idea was that? Yeah. Should have let one of their asses put it on their neck. But yeah, that's it, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and process this. And we ain't got but maybe 2 or 3 days. You know, I read slow. But that's it right there. I say this ain't even 20 pages, really. It's not. It's not even really 20 pages. And the rest of it is the names of all the lynchings. So many lynchings. But they not in this book. The 100 Years of Lynching, these are names. They're not in these books. I went ahead and highlighted the lynchings from where I was born and raised, in my neck of the woods. I went ahead and I highlighted them and stuff. And I'm going to expand my altar for this here also. I'm going to expand my altar as soon as I get my altar back up, because their names should never be forgotten again. You know, we forgot them once before. If we knew them, those of us that did learn, and we just went ahead and, and lived our life and stuff, and that was the wrong thing to do. Can't do that no more. We can never forget our history ever again. I know it's going to make us feel some type of way and stuff, because a lot of people are not going to be happy about this. It's going to cause you to have to make some real choices, some real decisions here about your friends, your family, your job. A lot of people not going to want you to even give focus or attention to this. Don't even talk about this and stuff. As far as what's going on in the world being on fire and stuff, speak softly. But don't let it be for your side. Don't let it be for your side. That's what people want. That's what people want. They want us to sacrifice us again. Some more. As if we ain't gave everything we got. And we're not doing that no more. Everybody finna be held accountable for what they have done. White women, white men, everything they've condoned, they done benefited from it and stuff. Everybody is people of today that's done condoned all of this. That's done people of today. Some of their ass is still alive. Look at James Clyburn. That man's still alive. There's people out there that's still alive after Shirley Chisholm them and Malcolm them and stuff, the people that were left in position. Then nobody want to listen to Dr. Claude Anderson. Then nobody want to listen to our elders that was trying to stand up and fight for us and talk for black people and lead us the right way for what we needed. And so they still alive. They still alive. How can they sit there and look out now amongst the masses of black people like they really got our best interests at heart? By pretending like they ain't done nothing. Like ain't nothing happened. Like this right here is just, oh, it just happened. This is just a coincidence. No, it ain't. Everybody let this happen. Then nobody stand up and say, no, we're not going to let you do this to black America. Now, nobody stood their asses up and said that. No, they still sitting in their lush positions, them political positions, getting them big fat lump sums that they get until their asses get cut and realize, wow, your sacrifice wasn't shit. Wasn't nothing. But I digress, though. We're not going to let it weary us and stuff. We're going to start telling our own stories, standing up for ourselves. That's what we're going to do. We got to. Ain't nobody else trying to do it. I'm really convinced after this is over with, and white folks think they done minimize us, our numbers so much, somebody ready to be the new black. I don't know who it's going to be and stuff, but yeah, they got another thing coming. We ain't going out without a fight. The cosmos is in this now. Don't you worry. You just get yourself together so you can be wary and you can know when the cosmos touch down, when it's time for us to assimilate with the natural order of things. So see, we got a lot of work to do and stuff, honey. I'm trying to drink more water, and not smoke cigarettes as much and stuff, and that's difficult. Somebody told me today and stuff, they stopped smoking after 35 years. That old man said he stopped smoking. It took him a while, though. But he said he used that Chantix. I guess that's the gum or something. I don't know. Then he started dipping the snuff, the little pouches, straight nicotine and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to go through all that and stuff. I'll just slack up and give me a single when I want to. If they come down to it and I need to give me a pack of cigarettes because I'm on the bus, taking a 24-hour trip on the bus, I might buy me a pack of cigarettes then and stuff because I don't like to ask folks for stuff. But, yeah, I do it my way. But, yeah, we just got to do these things. Watch what you're eating. Watch what you're listening to and stuff. And, y'all, please monitor the babies. Because so much is going on out here in the world and stuff. And we all distracted with what's going on in our daily lives and stuff. And things that we pay attention to. We see shit going on with it and stuff. But out there in the world and stuff, y'all, it's so much maliciousness and stuff. Don't let your babies out of your sight. If you can help it, honey, do not let your babies out of your sight. Because motherfuckers is coming up standing right next to you. And your little baby right there. You holding your little baby hand. Yeah. But they standing right there next to you waiting for y'all to lose contact so they can walk off with your baby. Somebody might come up and start talking to you, and you get to talking to them and stuff, and they don't ease the baby off and stuff. Pay attention. Okay? We just got to be aware of our surroundings and stuff. Use your discernment. You got discernment, use it. You ain't got to be stuck on stupid no more because white America done dumbed you down. You don't have to be like that no more. You got a discernment. You got a relationship with the higher power. Black people do. And ask your higher power to help you. It's time for us to unlearn all of this stuff. We done learned this stuff. It's trauma. Your higher power will understand that it's trauma. And you deserve to know the truth. That's what I did. I just asked my higher power, can I know the truth? Because I feel like I'm blaspheming. Can I please seek the truth? And my higher power let me, yes, I want you to know the truth. I need you to know the truth. And that was it for me. Yeah, that was it for me. Because if it had said now, I would have been questioning that. Is this my higher power that don't want me to know the truth? But so, yeah, sincerely talk to your higher power. We all got it. Yeah. Well, whoever it may be. Mine ain't got no name. I'm just saying. Cosmic energy. You know higher power. Your God, your Yahushua, your Yahweh, your higher power. But let's leave us with some gratitude and a song. Yeah, I ain't gonna sing tonight though. I ain't gonna do that to us and stuff. Gratitude. Gratitude shields you from negativity. Whatever you're going through, honey, be grateful. Be grateful. You can get through it. It's gonna shield you from all that negativity and stuff. It's gonna shield you, honey. Gratitude gonna give you the way out. It's gonna be your shining light. Gratitude is like a shield. It shields you from negativity because stuff that people do be sending to you, it can't even touch you. It can't even hit you. Things that you are already going through and stuff, once you start being grateful, answers start coming, solutions start coming, abundance, prosperity, and you able to get rid of that, and you blocking any negativity. Anybody saying anything about you, honey, it's like that movie Independence Day, when he tried to shoot the can off of that spaceship, and he couldn't at first. Damn cat hair. And he couldn't at first. It shields you. Gratitude is your shield, Black America. This is a new day. We got new knowledge, new information. Gratitude makes you at least 25% happier. I know we think that people and clothes and things and traveling and all that stuff makes us happier. It don't. That's a superficial happiness because you got to keep giving and getting and getting and getting to keep that happiness going. Gratitude makes you 25% happier, just like that. You got to be sincere now. You got to be sincere now. You can't be like, oh, I'm grateful for my paycheck. You ain't going to get nothing. You might find some dimes on the floor. You might find some dimes. You got to be sincere with gratitude. When you sincere with gratitude, honey, you automatically 25% happy. You ain't even told your loved one what you happy about. You ain't even told them what's done came to you. You just 25% happier. They know something. What's going on? What is it? What happened? No, I don't know. I'm just happy. That's because you sincere in your gratitude. Yeah, you don't need people to make you happier. I used to think that you need people to make you happier. Your parents, your children, your little bitty babies and stuff, your loved one, your pastor. I'm just saying, to make you happier. You don't. We happy to have them people in our lives and stuff, your best friend and stuff like that. We happy to have them in our life, but they are not our 25% happy. No, you can't let someone else be your happiness. Now, they can make you happy. You happy to see them. Some of them we happy to see their ass go too. But you happy to see them, and that's where you got to draw your boundaries. You got to put all of these gifts in your hands. You got to put all this power in your hands. You can't give someone else the power to that. Somebody else might move away, might pass on. Hell, might fall out of love with you and fall in love with somebody else. Things happen. You got to make sure you got your keys that the cosmos gave you so that you will be able to see the silver lining, that glimpse, then you'll be able to get through. Gratitude rewires your brain. It eliminates stress and it heals you. I'm going to look that up. Gratitude heals, because singing heals too. A perfect combination. I'm just saying. Gratitude improves your sleep. Gratitude improves sleep, honey. You can sleep like a baby. You can sleep like a baby when you got something on your mind and stuff, and you you got to pay that light bill tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Honey, you go to sleep grateful and stuff. Honey, them little few hours before 5 o'clock, honey, you is on it hustling. You might be from the corner up there on Main and whatever street that is with your sign. And I'm going to say, from me, ain't no harm in it, honey. Everybody out there with a sign. Some folks out there telling it like it is. I need a beer. I got the shakes. Have somebody, you can see it in the handwriting. I need a beer. I got the shakes. Whatever. Help, thank you. You can get out there with your sign too. What's this right here? Oh, this is about Tom Wilkes. Tom Wilkes, He was lynched, brutally lynched, y'all. And they changed his name to Sam Holt, which was previously Sam Holes, but his real name was Tom Wilkes. But yeah, you get your sign, and you get out there at that stop sign, honey, and you tape your bill on there, and the first sister come along, brother come along, whoever come along, help you with that light bill. Yeah, it ain't but $115. You won't be out there that long and stuff, Then after that, maybe go get you some lunch somewhere and stuff at one of them food shelves. Then you go to the churches. I start at the churches first if I were you. Yeah, get them churches. Sometimes they can help you, especially if you got kids and stuff. Gratitude just gonna give you some different options. That's all I'm saying. If you can't do that, because you ain't got that much time and stuff. It's raining, it's snowing, it's wintertime or something like that, honey. I don't know. Till you get that paycheck in, you might need to run that heavy orange extension cord out that window to your neighbor house over there, because you and that baby gonna need that hot plate. I'm just saying, gratitude. Maybe you take the baby over to your sister's house and you stay there and eat you some hot plated food. I'm just saying, gratitude gives you options. Just be grateful. It's different for me. It's different for you. My gratitude is different. My gratitude makes me 55% happier because I don't have many bad days. My ancestors done had all the bad days. Yeah, I'm just saying, for me, gratitude it hits differently. Everything does. Yep. Gratitude boosts your self-esteem and your performance. Don't know about it while you're on cloud nine. What's wrong? She done hit the lottery. Oh, she got a raise at work. Oh, she in love now. They made up. They don't know why, honey. It's your gratitude. Let gratitude be your attitude. All you can tell folks is, hey, be grateful. It's simple, but it's really profound. Gratitude enhances the law of attraction and it improves your relationships. Yep, when you are grateful, honey, it improves your relationships. Don't nobody know, but we better find out. And last but not least, how your body reacts to singing. I love music. I love me some music, honey. My mama's music and my daddy's music. I love it. Yes, I do. How your body reacts to singing, y'all. When you singing joyful or expressive songs, y'all, it can nourish your heart, balance your emotions, and uplift your spirits. Yes, our music can. I'm not saying now, like WAP and, love up in this club and stuff. It might make you feel like, that feel good to my head and stuff, but that ain't it. I'm talking about going back to your mama's music, some Earth, Wind, and Fire, some Commodores, some LTD, some James Ingram, some George Benson. I'm just saying, go back, And yeah, you can go to some Fantasia and some Mary J. Blige, but see, you getting tricky right there, because that might lead you on up to Tony Braxton. You might find yourself inching on up and stuff before you know it, your ass drunk up in the club looking for some WAP. I'm just saying, stay with the safe music that's got the message that you need. You say, you ain't there for entertainment with music now. We there for the message now. Everybody need to be looking in them old musics that we got and stuff. Yeah, pull that old music out because black people need it. That's what we need. We need our music back. We sure do, honey. We need to cry. We need to release. Black people. I'm just saying, in my opinion, singing helps expand your lungs and it improves your oxygen intake. Honey, when you hitting that high note like Patti LaBelle, Donna Summer, oh my ancestors. Stephanie Mills, honey, your lungs is getting so much oxygen in them. Your lungs ain't been that full of oxygen since you cried. Since you had that long, long cry where you take that deep breath and you let it out, you probably were 9 years old. I'm just saying, Yeah. But your lungs, y'all, it expands your lungs and gives you all of that oxygen and stuff. Sing, black people. We need to start back singing again, honey. I sing till I done ran out of songs. Sometimes I do. And when I run out of songs, honey, I sing good times. Try it. It works. Yeah, it works too. Your liver, when you singing, y'all, it helps regulate emotions like frustration, anger, and stress right on out of your liver. I didn't even know it was accumulating in your liver. Now, I barely knew and understood that medicine accumulates in your body and stuff, but I don't take medicines. So, I really wasn't here or there with that. Just like, that ain't my problem. I don't take it and stuff. But frustration, anger, and stress is accumulating in your liver. Now, imagine all of these emotions. And then you got damn pills, medicines that they give you. I don't know, Lorapazone or some shit like that. What's that one word? Possibly, I forgot. It's been a long time. I have taken prescriptions before. Lorazepam. Yep. Lorazepam. Yep. And little stuff like that. I remember some of them. I remember some of them pills and stuff that folks, yeah. But I don't take medicines and stuff like that. What's that one for like blood thinners or something like that? I don't know. It's a whole lot of them and stuff. I don't take it. I just don't. I'd rather not. But can you imagine having all of that shit accumulating in your body? Can you? No wonder we so damn irritable out there. You can't talk to us. You can't sing to us. You can't smile at us. You can't look at us. You can't do nothing. Hey, offer us $1 or a cigarette, I guess. I digress, though. So, with all of this right here, let us know about a song. Ask us. Especially if you've been seeing sister and y'all got at least a visual familiarity, if you know each other and stuff, even if it's your family member, and she always negative and always complaining and shit, ask her what's her favorite song and try to break the ice with her and stuff, because obviously she don't know the power of music. If she ain't got no favorite song, hell, ask her what's her mama favorite song. I'm just saying, if she don't hear, then you start singing good times. She know good times. So hell, if at that point right there, she don't want to know good times, she don't want to sing it, she ain't smiling and stuff, she looking at your ass like you a white person, then you probably want to let somebody else try to, work with her and stuff. But we got to try these things and stuff because we are at a critical place in time, this illusion of time. We are very critical right about now. We got to take extreme measures. This ain't even extreme measures. This ain't really extreme measures. It's needed. But it ain't extreme, because when it get extreme and stuff, everybody finna be outside walking with our boombox. If you don't want to walk and I ain't walking face, that's a damn lie. Get your car. Get your car, your truck. I don't care. Go down the street playing Shalimar. You can drive 2 miles an hour if you in the right vicinity and residential and stuff. I'm just saying, Yeah, get your music. We need it. Black people, we need it. Now, that would be an extreme for the music. Mm-hmm. Your kidneys. Singing can strengthen your kidney energy by fostering your vocal expressions. Honey, every time you hitting them high notes, your kidneys is too. Can't you see your kidney now? Oh, your kidney going too. It's strengthening. It's giving it strength. Then you're eating your kidney beans. You're eating healthy. You're drinking water and stuff. You ain't drinking all that bullshit no more and stuff, Because I will drink my auntie soda off of that altar. I drink that Pepsi. I drink it hot. I want a Pepsi sometimes, honey. I would drink that Pepsi so hot and fast, and it'd be like, all them bubbles and stuff. But I'll put it back on there. But it's just decades and years of living like this. We gotta break it. We gotta break this mindset because it's not doing us any good. And we got through it another night, and I hope it ain't 3:00 because I said we were gonna be done. It's 2:30. We still, 30 minutes early. But I thank y'all so much. Now let's go process this, and I'm gonna try to come on tomorrow because it is Sunday, and we can read some Dr. Claude Anderson. But I'm out trying to get some furniture, honey. I'm trying to get some furniture up in here. I've been in here 3 weeks now, 2.5 weeks now. Yeah, we need some furniture, some tables and stuff so these babies can come and visit their nana. Yeah, so if I do come on and stuff tomorrow, we will be reading Dr. Claude Anderson, and we ain't got much of that left. See, we don't have much of that left either. But yeah, and then I need to get some things together and stuff. So I love y'all, and I thank you for being here. And the ancestors are really pleased. I would say that they are very pleased. Ain't no telling when someone last spoke these names. I ain't never heard any of these names before. But, I'm just saying in general, as a collective, do our families even remember our loved ones? Do our families even remember our loved ones? We still got some great aunties that's still living, and great aunties and elder, family members and stuff. And it just made me feel some type of way. We need to start naming our babies back after our people. John Hartfield, who was lynched, and there were 10,000 at his lynching. Yeah, John had babies named after him, little girls, little boys, Jonathan and John and Janisha. They was all named after John. John Hartfield, Jonas. Jonas, his great-great-grandson, probably ended up with the little white girl that they were going to name Karina off of Karen on racist ass, but the little baby started grabbing onto black folks' fingers. So that little baby grabbed that black doula's finger. The midwife, the black woman that delivered the little white girl, because it was like in slavery time and stuff on here, there. And that little girl, that little white girl grabbed that black woman's finger, so they knew it was something about this baby. And honey, it didn't take them long to figure out. I think she was like maybe 3 weeks or something like that. And yeah, this is just my story. And what happened was they began to notice that every time the slaves come into the house and come around and stuff, she get to grinning and slobbing. Her little eyes just light up and stuff because she had a kinship, a resonation, I guess, with black people. The little white girl did and stuff. So they didn't name her Karina after Karen. They named her little ass Sabrina. And they always knew it. When Sabrina grew up and stuff, they knew it. Well, yeah, don't tell Sabrina about Uncle Bob. Don't say nothing about the attic, where the souvenirs is, and the handcuffs, and don't say nothing to Sabrina. You can tell Karen anything. You can tell Becky, Brad, Ken, you tell all them everything. Let them know where the stash is at. But don't you tell that damn Sabrina nothing, because she going to go tell the darkies. That's how they was. So there you have it. Sabrina and Jonas done got together. Sabrina, but she knew her folks wasn't right. Her ass just didn't care enough to put 2 and 2 together. At least not then. So when they met each other and stuff, because remember, John Hartfield's family fled for their life in shock. John suffered his lynching by himself. So, decades later, when the family, was okay and stuff, and Jonas went to visit, just like Emmett Till. Jonas would go back down south and visit, and he met Sabrina. He kept seeing her, and some after some and stuff, he kept seeing her, so they ended up talking and stuff. Then they ended up, called themselves going together and stuff. And then a few years after that, they a couple. So they go introduce each other to the families and stuff. Now, when they said, Hartfield, her family knew exactly who he was. Yeah. But he didn't know who they was. Because when he went and met them white folk, they were like, yeah, we've been in this town for about 250 years, and we on the railroad station, the schools, the light company. We're about on the whole town, And he was like, damn. And he was like, well, that's my family's been here for 400 years. My family's been here quite a while too. And what was your name? But the Hartfields, because see, his mama's name was Hartfield, but his daddy's name was different. So they didn't really catch his daddy's name. But when he said Hartfield, Hartfield. They remember John Hartfield. Yep. And that's when they started looking around at each other and stuff. But Sabrina motherfucking ass didn't even catch on to it. She seen it, but she didn't catch on to it and stuff, and he didn't. But they eventually told him. His family eventually told him. When he took her ass to meet them, they let him know right off the bat. So did honey, it was her family that lynched your great uncle that you named after. Yes. So that's why we got to start doing the knowledge, because they go down just like that. Because don't nobody know nobody. Don't nobody want to tell that somebody knew somebody. And half of your ass is in the same damn places where the lynchings happened at. Yeah. But I digress. I'm just saying. So anyway, let me tell you the end of the story so we can go. What happened to Sabrina and Jonas? They ended up finding out that Sabrina's ass was pregnant. So what happened was they was like, well, You're going to have to decide if you're going to have this baby. If you're going to have this baby or not. And I think she probably lost it or something like that, which would have been a blessing in disguise. And I know y'all say blessings, but that's be blessings. And it was in disguise. So what happened was they decided that, okay, if we're going to have this baby right here, Sabrina, my people got to live on. John let her know from the get-go. Now that I know all of this, your people can't live on. My people deserve to live on. My great-great uncle deserves to live on. I'm supposed to be with a black woman. But since I got a baby with you, and you not a black woman, you going to have to decide right here, right now. These babies will be raised up my way. Will be raised up. Now, you love who you fall in love with, but it will be within the black race. Because, see, we can't keep taking these risks and these chances with our own lineage. See, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said that white people were concerned about white genetic survival. Now, our black ass is about to be worried about black genetic survival because we're being taken off by so many agendas, so many issues, so many worries and shit, you know. So, yeah, we don't keep a close eye on it. Our asses is going to be worried about black genetic survival because I think it was Dr. Umar said it take 3 generations to wipe that black man's blood right on out of there. That black woman, the divestors and, you know, the swellers and stuff, love whoever you love that you claim you love if it's true love, but honey, 3 generations, whichever one, the grandmama, the granddaddy, the great-great uncle, who the hell ever breed them racist ass ideas into that child, when it do start, it ain't gonna take but 3 generations, boom, 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 to flush your ass right on up out of the gene pool. Yeah, and that way that's going to increase the numbers for white babies. They won't be worried about white genetic survival so much. Our ass is going to be worried about black genetic survival. Because, see, everybody making it seem like it's good. It's the way to be. It's the way to go. Get you a savior. You need a white man. Like hell, it ain't no good black men out there. It ain't no good black women out there. Hell, like we don't want black babies. We need black babies. Have black babies. White folks had it right all along. Hell, they supposed to be with their own folks. If you had left them alone, Black America, maybe we wouldn't be this far. I'm just saying, maybe we wouldn't be this far if you had left them alone. So now, you know, your Bible said it. I ain't saying nothing that we don't know. The Bible said come out from under them. The Bible said, you know, you ain't supposed to marry with their sons and they sons with your daughters. I ain't saying nothing that y'all asses don't know. Shit, y'all read and memorized the wrong parts of the Bible and what it meant for us. Because it don't mean go to heaven with white folks. It mean get your ass away from white folks. That's what the Bible meant for black people. Now, I don't know if everybody is truly this terrified and worried about white America telling black America what we need to know, and you're fearful of inciting white America again? Is that it? Is that what it is? Where no one would say the truth for shit because they know it's gonna piss white America off again. Hell, who been traumatized here? Us or them? I'm just saying, us or them. We can speak up. We can stand up. We got new information. It's a new day. We can stand up. Our ancestors could not. So, you know, yeah, you do your due diligence. But, you know, I don't want to worry y'all and stuff. I just want you to be wary. Because, you know, this is the end times right here. This is the last round. After this right here, honey, it's over. When they get your black asses in them motherfucking smart cities, don't get up in there and try to buck up. Oh, yeah, we're going to break these chains and shit. Because your ass going to be behind a smart city. The motherfucker going to shut down at 9 o'clock on the dot. Your ass got them chips in you and you outside of that smart city, everybody going to know your ass is runaway. Everybody going to know your ass is runaway. So, you know, you need to, get on code because we ain't with all of this. We ain't finna be chipped. We're not finna put none of that shit in us. Black people not. So, you just be ready to stand. Stand for what's right and stuff. Everything counts on this. The future counts on this, on us. It's not about what we going to go through here, what we going to lose here. That's why Malcolm said we scared to bleed, scared to lose the friend, scared to lose the job, scared you're going to get fired and shit, scared you're going to lose your paycheck, your 5-bedroom, 3-car garage house and shit. Scared white folks ain't going to talk to you no more and stuff. Just scared of every fucking thing. Stand up for something. Stand up for your people. The babies and stuff. Y'all okay with leaving our little children and stuff around this shit? Ain't nobody answer for nothing. Nobody. And y'all okay with just letting it be all phase? We don't want to talk about this shit. Cause your ass scared, so sit down and shut up. Let black women do the talking then. Cause it's our sons too. Since black men, since y'all asses feel like, oh, there you go, blowing shit out of proportion. Set your ass down. Because them is our sons, our brothers and fathers. Now, if it don't matter enough to you, black man, at least let it matter to us. We the ones that carry them for 9 months or longer and give birth to them. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm just saying, shit, if your ass scared, say you scared. Shit, your friends and shit, I don't understand why you got to stand the fuck up. If they don't, then you supposed to get rid of their asses. Get to stepping. Get your ass away from around me. Nah, we ain't the same. We ain't gonna be the same. I'm here for this and you there for that. Once they let you know who they are and show you, that's what Maya said. Once somebody show you who they are, believe them. These people been showing us for the longest. You waiting on their ass to kick down the door. And that's exactly what they do. Because Karen ass been running, been jogging, honey. And Sissy, your ass been sitting up there acting like the fucking damsel in distress. And when Karen come up in there and kick that goddamn door down and tell you, oh, you thought you had Brad? Nah, me and Brad is the one. Y'all still ain't figured it out. We playing y'all asses for a fool. Now you get your ass in them little rugrats, them baby kids back there in that big ass field. Because see, white women, black women think they done made it. Think they done made it, honey. Got big ass houses and big ass backyards and stuff, honey. And when Karen kick that door in, your ass gonna be slave number one. Ain't gonna be Mrs. Brad no more. Karen ass gonna come back. Don't be mad at white folks when they give that whistle and stuff and everybody go back to white. And everybody, yeah, well, fuck them. They didn't ever want to do with us anyway and stuff. So, yeah, we're going to go on back over here to the white side and stuff. Don't be mad at them. Don't be mad at them. That's what's supposed to happen. Because your ass wasn't supposed to be with them like that. You wasn't. Now, some of them might be like, yeah, I'm riding with my king. And yeah, if they do, hey, all right then, shit. Because yeah, they going to lynch your ass too. Shit, they lynched John Brown and his sons. These people right here ain't got no emotions when it comes to us. When that rage is reached, when that fury, that beastly inside of them, when that's reached, honey, it ain't no corralling that. It ain't. You think white folks really gonna come down on white folks when they get like this again? Honey, well, we'll see, won't we? Sure will. But, I love y'all, and yeah, that's it. That's it. See, I don't try to be too long and stuff and drag this on and stuff, but the shit it's not right, Black America. Something got to give today. I'm just saying, you think about it, because I already been thinking, honey. Sure have. But I love y'all. Peace and power to the people. I know Eric. Oh, Eric, look at here what I found today, my brother. Honey, baby child. I went to, when I found this rocking chair, honey, look what I found since you got some popcorn in the chat. Sure did, because I got a little popcorn thing for my grandbabies. I know, honey, we all going to be sitting eating popcorn and peaches. Popcorn and peaches, but I love y'all. Peace and power to the people.